Check.
Hello.
Hi. All right,
Hi.
we did it. We know how microphones work. We have a podcast.
What?
Yeah, this is like kind of bringing me back, Kat. Remember
gonna
when
relax
we used
like you
to
are.
do our podcast on our couch in our living room that had no
do.
windows?
Mm-hmm.
And it was just darkness, and we had to hold the microphone, and I would yell at you all the time.
Yeah, because I would be like,
It's like they need to hear you. Well, we are the Ghouls Next Door. I'm Gabe.
I'm Kat.
And welcome to Respect Women's Podcast Festival. So, I guess we could start with our intro song.
Yeah.
If you want.
Let's pretend it's not a bunch of people looking at us right now.
If you guys can all pretend like you're just like wall art in our living room, that would be cool.
Our own personal way of preparing is I'm going to just pretend this isn't real. Close my eyes.
Disassociation.
Yeah. For the win.
Yes.
This time.
So we're going to start, for our live shows, we always do something a little fun. We have a very specific intro song that's different from our usual intro song.
Oh, we're doing that one. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we always do it for live shows, and it was a song that Kat made. Well, she makes all our music. That is, it's awesome, right? That was for our anime episode, our horror anime episode. So you'll hear how cool it is.
Ghouls next door with Gabe and Kat, talking about facts and films and feelings and spooky stuff. Okay, get married 'cause really sure kids. Been through.
Ghouls next door. Ghouls next door.
Ghouls next door.
Woo! So that's our anime intro. So if you're feeling real animated,
Yes.
because puns,
Yeah.
and we can do a podcast now.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a Cthulhu chant in there, so if he gets summoned,
join us.
it is our fault, and I'm sorry ahead of time. But we are the Ghouls Next Door, so if you are unfamiliar with us, we are a spooky edutainment podcast.
Yes.
We educate and we entertain because we're witty and fun. We talk about things that scare us and why they scare us. We're avid horror movie, video game, comic book, books, literally any type of medium that's spooky, we are about it, right? I wouldn't say we're experts, but we're getting there. We watch at least several movies a week.
Yeah.
So,
Movie shows, it's basically, there's just like random screenings thrown in there. It's just spooky all the time.
yeah.
I don't know what laughing is anymore.
Are we changed?
Maybe.
Is it for the better?
I think so.
But we tend to do series. So this year we've done series. So
Yes.
we've done New Year, New Me, where we talked about like body modification and like who you are on social media because it's different. And we've done Romance Gone Wrong. We've talked about vampires and how they're bad for you, Buffy. Just learn a lesson, right? Like,
No.
really? And then recently we did foreign horror films, so we got to dive into different cultures, right? And then we did apocalypses, which was super fun. We got to see all the different ways that we are going to inevitably die. And there's a lot of ways. We can tell you
It's
all
not
about
like
it.
if, it's when.
One of them will happen. Honestly, it seems like quite a few at the same time.
Yeah, probably. Well, because they kind of relate to each other.
Yeah.
But that's not the topic for today.
No. So we're doing a representation series, and this is kind of on par with that, right? So for this month and next month, we're doing representation of certain communities in horror. So we are talking about last week was sex workers, this week was Black women, next week is Latinx with Sergio over here, working the board. We're going to talk mental illness and disability and all that. It's going to be super fun. But today we are talking about the scariest topic of them all. Children.
Yes.
So who here has children?
Some of you brought them with them. With you.
Sorry.
Welcome.
Doesn't look good for you guys. Kids are really scary. You ever think about it? You're just like, you see a kid in a horror movie, you're like, really?
What's going to happen now?
What are they going to do?
Tangled web are we going to trap ourselves in attempts to save this tiny person who cannot defend themselves? So we have to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Kat, you work with children.
I do. That's my day job. I work with a lot of children every single day, which honestly, going in line with a lot of what we're going to talk about today, the scariest thing about them is that they can just so easily be taken from this world. And it is my sole job to protect them at all moments. And if anything happens to them, it is 100% my fault and I'm fired. So even if I'm not in the room, because I'm in charge of the whole time. So like my staff do something, fired. Like it's, yeah. And also then you just got to live with the fact that like a little kid got hurt and it was kind of your fault. So yeah, working with kids is scary because you're scared they're going to hurt themselves because they want to. That's that's their thing.
Yes, they are always wanting to endanger themselves. So we separate our show into sections, and we separate those by these really fun interludes that Kat created. Again, she makes all her music, so if you dig it, she does it. So here's one.
I don't have any more time, though. Don't ask for them.
we're not going to sing to this one. It's real quick, but.
Yeah, facts. We tell you facts. All the facts. Hear facts. Still facts. About that spooky stuff. Yeah, spooky stuff.
Coming out with the staticky drums or whatever.
Yeah,
so
I can't make music that's not like glitchy, mildly uncomfortable because I find it really fun.
So, Kat, why don't you tell us why kids are scary?
Yeah, so I have a very long list of reasons why kids are scary. There's actually a lot of articles written about like the things that people find the most terrifying, and children is usually on that top 10 list, even if it's not at the top of that list, because, you know, snakes exist, or spiders,
clowns.
Yeah, all those things. They're usually on the list, though, so that's kind of like the focus here. But the reason kids are scary is because, like the dodo bird, they are trying to die at all times. Like they're just, they don't know what fear is, they don't know what physics are, they don't know what mortality is, so they're just like, I wonder if I drop this out of a window, if it'll fall. It does, because I did that as a child. I remember I got a Game Boy Advance, and I was so excited, and I like to stick my hand out the window to test God, and I was like, I wonder what would happen if I drop this Game Boy. Like, would it actually fall? Like, everyone tells me it's gonna fall, but I've never actually seen it happen. So I need to test this thing. I dropped this like brand new, I don't know what money was at that time, so it's probably like $100-something out of my moving car window. And I had to explain why I did it, and I didn't know. I was just like, I wanted to see what would happen. And that's what kids do. It's all the time.
Yeah, they're like, what does this button do?
Yeah, and the reason that they're scary is the biggest thing is we're really insecure about our abilities as adults and as humans to even like survive ourselves, that we're like going to be able to protect this child.
Yeah.
Or at least that's like my whole thing. It's like, oh my God, I ate ramen twice this week. How am I going to feed a child? Like, I don't know. Who's supposed to teach you? Like, there's books, but it's all different every time.
There are times when I just have to drag myself out to do like basic like errands to go get like food or just take care of myself, and I'm like, oh, this is a bad time. Like, let's just hope this doesn't happen to anyone else.
Yeah, no, me left unattended is just like, I'm sitting in a room. I'm not gonna go, who cares if I go outside today? And then you come home and you're like, Kat, why is it dark in here? Why is it dark? And I'm like, I don't know, TV. And then, yeah, so it's like, we're all kind of scared that we're not gonna be able to take care of ourselves, let alone another human being, because children specifically, for like the first 2 to 5 years of their life, are extremely helpless. They need you for everything. They don't have the ability to fend for themselves. And we see this innocence in the same level of incompetence. Like, they can't do it because they're too young and they just don't know. And it's our job to teach them. And if they get to an adult person, they grow up and they haven't learned all these things, whose fault is it? It's not the kids.
No pressure.
It's us.
It's totally cool. You got it.
They can't wipe their own butts or understand the complexity of morality or mortality. And, it's the permanence of it. They just don't know. So they're still figuring that out. And that gets played upon a lot of media because the whole thing is you're following that kid into the abandoned building because you're like, oh my God, why? Where's your parent? I don't know. I need to help you.
Am I your parent? Oh no,
now
you poor
I'm your
thing.
I'm your parent now. And it's like you feel this natural need as an adult human to protect the smaller humans. Or at least you kind of should. If you don't, I don't know. But like the expectation is by surviving as long as we have, we should know what we're doing. Through natural selection, we've survived this long. We clearly have an idea of what's going on.
Yes.
And we're supposed to teach them, and we're very insecure that they're going to figure out we don't know what we're doing and call us on it. And then that's the big thing, because then they're younger, they're going to grow up and be smarter and stronger and all those things because we age. And as they get better, we get worse.
Yes.
And it's just they're going to take over and take vengeance on us for not doing it right. They're going to tell us how bad of a job we did.
Rub in mortality like that.
Just
really put me in a good, cheery mindset right now that I'm aging. I don't want to remember. Remember, we just learned how to take breaths. Let's all do that. Right? But that makes me think of one of my favorite quotes by John Steinbeck. In East of Eden, which is essentially just when your kids find out that you are not a god, right? That you're just a person and you're gonna make mistakes, you're gonna mess up, and you're just doing stuff. And it's just the gods have fallen, right? And they're just screw you, Dad.
You're telling
I don't
me
care. You can't tell me what to do. You don't understand me.
I'm going to grow up and be like that?
Oh, no, that's later. That's later when you look in the mirror and you're like, oh no.
I'm the same.
It happens.
Yeah, I was going to do some audience participation.
Ooh, because they're a live show and there's people here.
So by a show of hands, how many of you feel like you know exactly what you're doing with your life and that with that, you are totally 100% capable of taking care of yourself and probably other humans? You have no doubts.
Listeners who are not here, this is a resounding 0.
I'm happy I didn't have to tell anyone they were a liar.
2? All right, confidence.
All right. Mostly, sort.
You're making it, right? It's still alive, so you got a good track record. He's alive, right? So that's already significantly better than he's ever been.
Yeah, exactly. So the whole idea is that we're constantly trying to show that they can't know we don't know what we're doing. And that's what you see a lot in films is you have to be strong for this child. You have to go rescue this child who you just met. You have no emotional attachment to, but you're running into Silent Hill land to save this baby. And the only reason you're doing it is because you're just inherently oh, I should be able to do this. It's okay. I am an adult. It's totally fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're also scared that once they find out, they're going to take us over.
Well,
or get mad.
That's just kind of how time works. Eventually, they do take over.
You said you were going to do it, and you didn't. Now you just.
No.
Vengeance. There you go.
No. Well,
eat from this cliff.
Thanks, Kat. That's so cheery and fun.
I tend to be.
We're always that. Well, Kat usually tackles our history or psychology of why things are scary, and then I tell you what's happening on the screen and what they're used for, their tools, right? So for kids, they are one of 3 things when they appear in a horror movie, right? So 1, they could be the harbingers of doom, right? They're the, I see dead people, right? Or the, they're here, right? Poltergeist, you guys are getting this, right? There's essentially this idea that children being so young and not having a full grounded idea of what the world is supposed to be are more susceptible. They don't have jobs. They don't have responsibilities. They can, just imagine what's happening in the world.
They have the freedom to dream.
You get dream of ghosts in my house. Mm-hmm. That's nice. They are more susceptible to the influences of the supernatural or spiritual, right? So ghosts are always talking to them, and they're like, my friend, who isn't real but is an 80-year-old woman, Gladys, and it's just then you look up the history of the house and you're like, Gladys used to live here.
And you're like, how did they know?
And it's just like, Gladys is sad. And it's like, oh, can we do for Gladys to be happy again? Oh, dear. And so it's just like they are able to see, because they're more accepting of it, right? People like, how many people in horror movies or ghost movies are always like, absolutely adamantly opposed to what's happening in their house until it's too late, until the bed is all the way up off the ground.
It's usually
and shaking
those 30,
around.
40 somethings who are like, I don't believe in these things anymore. I have aged.
Yes.
Just so no one feels like that's where we are. So it's
You got to put it in perspective.
Yeah.
Yes. Like it's essentially just an openness and a willingness, right? So then they go and then tell us. And literally anything a kid says sometimes, if they say it in the right voice or have a misunderstanding of what real world life is, things can sound really creepy, right?
Yeah.
Like even just imaginary friends are scary. When I was little, I had an imaginary
there's
friend.
things that are there that are not there.
Did you have an imaginary friend growing up?
No. But
Okay.
I did like pretend the things like my toys were alive.
Yeah.
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 They weren't like friends, but I would like have Beanie Babies that I would like pretend were here.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I'd have to take Baby with me, which is the name of my bear.
Uh-huh.
Or he would know and be upset. Like he would be missing me while I was gone. So
That
it
makes
would put
sense.
human emotions onto inanimate objects. I don't do that now. I'm normal.
All right, I'll believe you right now.
It's just our cats.
I don't at all.
I pretend
believe
that
her.
they have human emotions.
They do. I had imaginary friends growing up. For people who don't know in the audience, one of the moms next door is here. We have one right
Front
up
row and
front.
center.
If you want to hear from the moms next door about how scared we were when we were children, they are in episode 20 to talk about why we were just like the worst kids and terrified of everything, and they traumatized us. And we're like, thanks.
For
to
the
you,
better,
Mom.
we're funny now.
Yes,
what it did.
they made us this way. My imaginary friend turned out to be real. So his name was Ricardo, and it was like you had to set out like a place setting for him, and I like talked to him. He was my best friend, and it turned out there was like a kid down the street that was like significant older than me that was named Ricardo, and my mom didn't know. And then later, like this kid runs up and is like, "I'm Ricardo, nice to meet you," and she was like, "What? Did my daughter bring you here? Like, did she dream you up? What is her magical powers?"
We'll
She's
keep
like,
setting the place
quick,
at
your
the
new
table."
imaginary friend is $1 million. Go. Well, I'll set a plate right now.
Every day, because he's
Set
real.
several plates. Yeah. So kids say the darndest things. So they are the harbingers. So they're the ones telling you that something's going on, right? They are also the MacGuffin, right? So they are the excuse for going into the haunted house, right? If anyone's driving and you see a questionable creature throwing a bag down, what was it? I forget what it was in Jeepers Creepers. It was just like a chute.
Yeah.
And they're like, let's go check
Murder
it out.
chute.
Any normal person wouldn't have checked it out. Right? But if you were like there and you saw a child that's going and checking it out, you'd be like, wait, okay, hold on, child.
that's
Let
sweet
me
baby.
fix you. Yeah, hold on. So they get you into those compromising positions, right? Because you want to protect them. And then it turns out that they were like an illusion or just honestly a tool to get you into the spooky place, like in Silent Hill. Yeah. That's literally the only reason that guy went in there. And it was the worst kid in horror movies. They're always the most annoying. And it's just like, do we need to go and get him?
Yes.
Are we sure?
Because
we can
they
just
will
make
validate
another
the
one?
fact we haven't failed at our lives as if we save these children. That's
If
what
anyone
it is.
watches The Babadook, it makes you
Yes.
really realize that it's okay if you don't have kids. It's okay.
No, you have to watch. Or no, is married. Never mind. Clown. Because if you get married, then they eat your kids.
Yes.
So it doesn't. You don't want either. 'Cause,
But Timmy was also a problem in that film.
Yeah. Well, all Timmys die.
But yes. Otherwise, if they are not leading you to your death or warning you about your death, which is imminent always, they are the killer, right? They are possessed by some force and are terrifying in some way, right?
Yeah. Representing that whole innocence loss. That is you have failed to protect them, and now you are like reaping the consequences.
Yeah.
essentially.
So you think like Exorcist. What's her name? I forget.
know.
It's someone with R. Oh my God. I'll remember one day. Reagan, thank you. You get 10 points for whatever house you are in Harry Potter. Yeah, Reagan from Exorcist, or just like any spooky kid that just like isn't quite right. The Omen. Mm-hmm. Get Damien, this is for you. And it's just like, does it, like, no more for Damien. Damien gets no more. He's cut off.
He has a really nice house. He doesn't need sacrifice.
He doesn't need anything else. Yeah. So those are generally what I would say are what you see in film. You get 3 reasons to be there in horror. And if you're not doing that, then it's like the whole time people are wondering if you're going to be that, though. Right? Like, we don't really trust children.
Yeah. And it's
for good reason.
It really just plays into that, like, subconscious fear, because like it's a child is something you're not expecting to be evil, and you're expecting them to need protection and to need like support from you, and then when they're not needing of that support but also like have more strength than you expect them to, or they say something really scary, or they're the villain, then it's just so like jarring because you're not expecting it to take that turn, and it just gets real uncomfortable and everyone's upset because your kid is like, they're little. They're part of
person.
You. Yeah,
that's your
like
thing.
they're your person, and now they're like attacking you, and you just didn't even kind of see that coming. Yeah. And that's why it's so upsetting.
And it's just such a loss of innocence, right? Like when you see that, it's just kind of like, now we are all hopeless, right? Like what do we all have to do?
The future
if my
is
one
done.
little beautiful kid is now like spinning her head around and vomiting like a bunch, and I can't do anything because the priest is like full of flies and sweaty, and it's just like, what are we even doing?
Yeah, and Gabe, if I could borrow your phone.
Sure.
Thanks.
Oh, can you?
Oh wait, no, I needed it to be the other thing.
You need to do this.
Yes, thank you.
The secret password of
I'm using
Michael.
a phone that's not mine as my script.
I won't tell everyone your secrets.
There's a really great quote that kind of talks about this. So
Ooh.
the film theorist Mary Jackson once stated, "Not surprisingly, in the run of child as monster films, frequently, the real point is not the evil of the children. Often it's the victims of demonic possession themselves, but rather, or the blah, blah, blah. Often the victims of demonic possession themselves, but rather the ineffectiveness of the family, church, and state, America's most highly valued institutions, to guard themselves against the deception of impending destruction."
Yeah, because it's like if you mess up your kid like in a normal way, like you could probably get away with it for a while until like at least a certain age, and then you're like, ooh, I didn't teach him like to do that thing. But if your kid is like
They don't know
possessed,
taxes.
it's like now everyone knows you messed up.
Yeah.
There's
That's
no
on the
hiding
news.
her. You can't just like dress her up and she's like "Bah," at church. Like she can't even get in there. Like they're gonna know. They're gonna be like, no, I don't think, like, we're whispering about you in the town. So it's just a blatant just like reminder of like, you did a bad job. So yeah. We are a media analysis podcast, so we do watch things or read things or view things beforehand. Got it. So we we watched some films.
Films. Yeah, films. We watched some films. Now let's talk about those films. And all that spooky stuff.
So I wanted to, again, just for anyone who's new, who came in or forgot, my mom is here. I just love him. It's like, got him. All those years, all this time. And the reason why I want to shout is that we picked a very specific film for you, Mother. We chose, so we got 2 films here. One was really fun, one was treacherous. One was a lot of work for us to get through. We watched, from 1984, Children of the Corn.
Yep.
So, yeah. So, it's an affectionate term that my mother would use when she would write us notes, like she would go to work and she'd be like, you got dinner in the oven? It'd be like, Children of the Corn. And I was like, why would you want that? They murdered the adults. Like, what are you hinting at something? Do we need to talk?
She's saying that she's Isaac.
So no.
She's leading the child
I'm
army.
watching you, Malachi. And I'm like, all right. I mean, I was like,
My name's
think I'm
Gabe.
pretty nice. Like, I don't feel like I'm murderous. Are you trying to tell me something? So we watched Children of the Corn. How many people here have watched Children of the Corn? Nice. Yes. It is a classic. It is based on a Stephen King short story. I was like, film, book, what does he do? Short story. It apparently has had at least 5 different sequels, which is one
I've
was
never
already
seen them,
a lot.
but I saw the one.
And I was like, that's enough. So, and a Sci-Fi Channel remake, because we needed that. Big surprise. It was awful.
Excellent.
For anyone who has not seen it, it is about a young couple who is trapped in a remote town where a dangerous religious cult of children believe everyone over the age of 18 must be killed, essentially to satisfy he who walks among the rows.
So the corn demon.
The corn demon.
He gives you corn, you murder
That is
people.
my new,
It's perfect. It's
like,
a great
metal
arrangement.
band. I am now
Only
a part
a child
of
would be
Demon.
like, that seems like a really great deal.
Kill my parents
They're
for
annoying.
corn?
They're annoying. It's fine.
What's corn? I love it.
You don't even digest it properly. It's not a you don't.
They don't know.
That's not the vegetable of choice to murder for.
What I want to know is, like, why is it on the kids that this responsibility is happening, right? Because it's like there's a drought in the town in the beginning, and that's why, like, it's like this
The
eerie,
before time.
like, yeah, before times, or it's like music is playing, they're in the diner, and the parents are like eating, and you see the kids just come in, like really sketchy. Like, they're not even pretending to be cool. They're like looking at people like, hey, Mr. Johnson, remember when you yelled at me to get off your lawn? I'm just gonna sit right next to you. Oh, don't mind this knife. I just want to cut my corn.
And it's like you don't even expect it even then. They're literally murdering you, and you're like, this isn't.
Wait, what?
This isn't. I'm gonna wake up in
Jimmy?
a second. It's fine. Just let it happen. And it's like, no, you're definitely. This is real.
Yeah.
Kids are scary, apparently.
Well, it's like the town is in a drought, so they should have corn. It should be like stocks and stocks of corn, but it's dead, and it's very clear of that. There's like newspapers and stuff, and then like Isaac, this incredibly creepy kid in
He's
quotation
23.
marks.
Spoilers.
Spoilers
First,
from
but it's
1984.
also
You had
1984.
time. He gets a message. It's just like all the kids have to kill their parents because it's our obligation to then. Now the corn is alive again.
Demons.
It is starring one of Kat's favorites.
Don't do that, because I just know that she's Sarah Connor.
Yeah, well, that's all we
And
need
I
to say.
forget her real name.
Is Sarah Connor.
Yeah.
She's in there, and she is done dirty. She is with her boyfriend. I want to say his name is like Jimmy or something. It's awful.
Craig.
No, it's
No.
not Craig. Craig was supposed to be Malachi's name.
I'm so happy it wasn't.
So it's like Jimmy or something awful. And he is there for his like medical degree or whatever. And
He don't want
it's all
kids.
about him. He doesn't want kids. He doesn't care what she says. He tells her to shut up. She wants to call the cops after they hit a child. And he's like, let's just put it in the trunk. What do we need to talk about this for? Let's just go. And she's like, I think we should probably do something, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just it's...
I just want to deal with a lot of like gaslighting and mansplaining, but then also like kids murdering people, and it takes a really long time, and then suddenly demons are there. That's what the movie is. It's fun.
It's good to watch with a group of people and
Yeah.
just laugh at it for a
Like
while.
for nostalgia's sake.
Yes, yeah, because
Yeah.
and I just really like the twist at the end and the fact that it was real. Mm-hmm. That he who walks among the stalks of rows of corn, he could just be like Bob.
Well, that's the whole thing with like we just saw a movie recently, Ready or Not.
That's a big spoiler. You can't say that.
Okay, never mind.
Because that's in theaters right now, so we're not going to say
I
what
didn't
happened.
say that, but like that, you know.
There's spoilers.
I'm gonna stop saying words. Continue.
Yes, we also watched Insidious.
We did watch Insidious.
How many people watched Insidious? Less. Ooh. Insidious is so good. Let me
very
just say
fun.
that. It is really fun. It holds up. It's from 2010, which sounds like that's not very far before. Like I graduated high school in 2010.
Yeah.
So, but I'm old now, so it's fine. Just like this film. But it definitely holds up. It's super fun. It has a lot of good spooks and scares. But essentially this like kid goes into a coma. And it turns out he can like dream sleepwalk to another plane. and this very helpful psychic medium woman comes in, and she does like all this spooky stuff, and she's just like sketching this monster and all this stuff, and then the dad is like incredulous, and he's like, I don't believe you. And then he goes in the room and he sees on the wall that the kid has like essentially drawn out this entire story of like what has happened to him. Like he fell asleep, and then when he's asleep, he dream walks, he goes to the place, here's a scary demon. And that makes the dad go, oh, she must be for real.
But it's like that lady was just in that room.
She definitely just looked at those and was like, yes.
This is what it is. And then you believe it now.
And then he's like, I'll go to sleep now. It's cool. And so, but with the kid in this film, so in the other one, we have kids who are the psycho killers. We also have the kids who are also just like the harbingers who are trying to tell them, like, don't come in here, Sarah Connor. You keep making bad decisions about men. And she's like, I don't care. I'm going to have the son who's going to save the future. So many problems. And in this one, it's just this kid who tries to warn them in some way, ends up being the MacGuffin for why they go to the dangerous areas. But there's also a really creepy kid who dances to that. He's like a ghost, and he's dancing to that really old song. It's like,
it reminds me of SpongeBob specifically.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
It has a SpongeBob theme.
But
and he's like dancing.
so the first one is the whole, you don't know your kids and they're going to murder you for your incompetence. The second one is you have failed to protect the baby because in his dreams he wanders, and that's the only place that you cannot go to.
Yes.
It goes to the same thing as like Freddy Krueger. It's like the one place I can't. We're sleeping. It's supposed to be the time where everything turns off, and it's like no.
Yeah.
There's a whole other world.
Yeah. We also do a section where we recap all of this stuff.
Which will probably be like 1 second long, but it's okay.
We still...
Feelings. Yeah, feelings. Yeah, I said feelings. Let's talk about feelings. Okay. And all that spooky stuff. I love spooky stuff.
So, feelings. Okay. Doing the breathing thing again. So we always have a rating system of some kind that we make up on the spot. And I always forget that in live shows it's a little more pressure to figure it out.
Well, I already have one for if it's bad.
Okay, what is it?
Craig.
Craig. If it's bad,
the character that played Malachi was supposed to be named Craig.
Yeah, so all the kids in Children's Corner have biblical names.
Ridiculous.
Like Job, Malachi, Isaac. I forget what the girl's name was. Mary, probably.
I'm just not going to be scared of Craig. So
Yeah,
it's just...
but in the book, his name was Craig. Malachi's name was Craig. They'd be like, Malachi, be like, Craig. And he'd be like, what? Craig what?
So I feel like Craig should be
He'd
bad.
be like, Outlander. And we're like, go away, Craig. No one wants you here.
You're the Outlander.
Malachi is so homely. It's really sad.
I know,
That
but the
poor
name is
kid.
great.
Yes. So Craig is if you don't like it. Mm-hmm. If you do like it, it's don't have kids.
No, have a bunch of them.
Have a bunch.
And then they'll be so
and then
busy,
odds
they
are in
won't
your
be able to
favor that
tell.
at least one of them was okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. So if you like it, it's have a bunch of kids for collateral. And if you don't, then it's Craig. So, Kat, for the topic of children and why they're scary in films and otherwise in real life.
I love it. I definitely thought, I was not expecting to be like the psychological reason to why we're scared of them to be as interesting as it was. Because I was like, I didn't even think of that. That's definitely true. We all feel like we're going to fail all the time. It's like a big point of anxiety for me specifically. And I was like, yeah, that maybe is why kids are scary. And then I was like, it's really, and then the movies were fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say, have a bunch of kids because I'm just honestly terrified of children. Just like so we can all be out in the open. I feel like we're a family now. I'm just terrified. There was like, when I first got to Philly, there was like this news story about these children who like beat a woman with a brick. And it was like in my neighborhood.
Stories, yep.
And I was just like, oh, right, yes, children terrify me. Even at like Philly Cam where I work, the youth program, they'll like come down and ask me stuff. And I'm like, here you go. Like, I do not want to mess you up. Go. And they'll be like, Miss Gabe. I'm like, what? What is this that you could possibly need from me?
My name. It's
Can any other, is there an adult here? Can an adult assist? I'm like, Ariel, help. And they're so tall. I'm such a small person. They're like, I'm 16. And I'm like, and you need a charger? I'll give you mine.
If it makes you feel better, when I worked in elementary schools, which I mean I still kind of do, fifth grader was taller than me and helped me put paper in a closet because he's like, oh, Miss Cat, you seem like you're having a hard time there. I am a giant.
Let me first take this shot of whiskey and then
No,
help you
he's
lift
underage.
these.
It's the whole thing.
It's a lie. He's just like Isaac. He's really 23.
Yeah.
And he's doing that. Yeah. And then I think for these films, I think one Insidious really holds up and it's super fun. I recommend it. Insidious 1 and 2. I heard 3 and 4 were not great. So,
But the first two are really fun. Lots of jump scares if you like those.
binge them. Come watch them with us. And then Children of Corn, again, watch it with a bunch of people or just not at all. It's fine.
Yeah. But thank
Yeah.
you so much for coming out.
Yes.
Everyone.
We are the Ghouls Next Door. You can...
Thanks.
You can applaud. We'll accept it. Thank you. Thank you. You can find us pretty much anywhere you get your podcasts out. We're on Spotify, Stitcher. We're on iTunes. If you do have an iTunes account, please leave a rating.
Please.
It helps for some reason.
Please.
They're like, oh, people like them. You can look at us at thegoalsnextdoor.com. It's a really cool website we created and put money into. And if you have any questions or have any ideas for topics that you'd love us to cover, you can just email us at thegoalsnextdoor@gmail.com. I also have business cards if you want to catch us. And we have stickers up here. They're bad, but they're here. We made them. So you can just stick them on a thing.
I get a teacher's
And now
discount
there's
at
a sticker.
AC Moore.
Yeah, we're totally DIY. So thank you guys so much. You are now officially in our basement because that's how it works when you guys attend one of our shows. So you are a ghost in our basement forever for all your life. So thanks.
Ghoul Scouts next door. You can also
Yes,
do it.
Girl Scouts. Thank you.